when I was in secondary school, I know maybe we also have this experience, and we are playing Principal Cup. We are the boys of the school. We are playing for the school, but it will get to a level that the school will feel that you these boys, you can't play this game. Let's go and look for mercenaries, so boys that are not students of the school, to come and play for the school, and they will be playing. They are better. They are older. They are everything. And when by the time we are out of the competition, there is no sympathy, there is no empathy. They just want to get their money and go away.
Yeah.
You see, Nigerian national team players are beginning to behave like mercenaries.
So it brings shame, I would say, to the country. It's not something that's nice. And you can understand from the player's perspective, when you work for something you're supposed to get paid, that's from the angle they're taking it as. And some will say that too, maybe they are frustrated at the fact that if they don't protest now, maybe they don't get their money, see their money later, looking at the previous pattern. So maybe they don't trust the current administration.
Have you ever been beaten up before?
I've been beaten up before. I've been beaten in Kano. Yeah. Kano Pillar versus Enyimba. In fact, it happened a week after my wedding.
Goodness.
Last Saturday, I wedded my wife. This Saturday, I was beaten in Kano.
Welcome to the Playzone podcast.
So hello and welcome to yet another episode of the Playzone podcast. My name is Charles Anazodo. My co-anchor is not available today. He will explain to you in subsequent episodes why he's not here with me today. But we do have extra special guests with us tonight, right here on the Playzone podcast. Now, I say tonight because there are people watching outside of the country, and we must also identify with the fact that you stay up late to watch the Playzone podcast. So it's a special thank you to you. Now, all of the activities at the last Africa Cup of Nations will continue to reverberate, and we will continue to talk about all of the excitement of it. And we have a special guest here who was in Morocco, and he will tell us his stories. And I hear that he had some sort of run-in with one of the big broadcast organizations, but he will tell us that story and a lot more. I also do have a former referee right here with us, a retired referee, an NPFL referee assessor, and of course, the General Secretary of the Lagos State Referees Council with us. And here they are with me right here on the Playzone podcast. I'll start first with Ademola, who is a doctor. Yeah, Ademola, how are you? Good to see you on the sports on the Playzone podcast.
Thank you very much. It's good to be here.
Okay.
Finally on the show with you.
Okay, and Dele Atoun, how are you, Dele?
It's good to be here, Charles. Great to be here.
You know, I'm looking at you and I'm wondering, because I introduced you as a retired referee. You look too young to be retired.
Too young to be, and to say that I've been a retired referee for about a decade now.
Why?
You see, number one, the retirement age of referee worldwide until recently is 45. It's 45 years old.
You're older than 45.
Older than 50.
Look, I'm not trying to make you feel good, yeah? But you don't look a day older than 40. And that's the honest truth.
Good.
That is the honest truth. Unbelievable.
That's great. Yeah, at least 53.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, Dele, we're going to be talking about the Africa Cup of Nations. We're also going to be talking about the NPFL, refereeing standards at the NPFL. And of course, as far as Africa is concerned, yes?
That's right.
I would also like to get your insights concerning all of the, for want of a better form of expression, shenanigans that happened at the last Africa Cup of Nations. But I'll start with you, Ademola.
Yes.
Are you a real doctor? Are you a witch doctor? I mean, what is it?
I have a PhD in sport and exercise physiology
Wow.
from the University of Lagos, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's great. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, you were in Morocco for the Africa Cup
Yes.
of Nations, yeah? Tell us about your experience. What did you see? Because everyone's referring to this Cup of Nations as the best ever in terms of organization and, of course, the play on the pitch as well.
Yes, definitely. I would say that Morocco, now, in my opinion, the best host for the Africa Cup of Nations in terms of infrastructure, good transportation network. You could take the train anywhere in the country, from the south to the north. beautiful stadiums. I think in Rabat alone, you have 5 world-class stadiums. So that says a lot, and that's just the capital. We started our game in Fez, though some would call it a small city, but it's also well developed. So Morocco hosted well, welcoming people, but the final and the semi-final with the antics like we expect in North Africa was what probably overshadowed that at the end of the competition. But overall, infrastructure is really great. Transport network is great. Accommodation, hospitality, the stadium itself, really, really good, And I feel like they're ready to also host the World Cup.
So Morocco have set the ball high, and set the bar high. And, I heard a very renowned journalist, Mamadou Gueye, speaking about everything that you've just stated and showing concern for the next Cup of Nations that will take place in Kenya, Tanzania, and Uganda. And, he voiced his opinion based on travel, which would be difficult in the East African region. He also talked about the dearth of facilities in that region as well. Having seen what happened in Morocco, do you think what East Africa will be doing is lowering the bar?
Well, in terms of travel, I would say yes. Yes, it's going to be difficult and challenging traveling within those 3 African countries. Hopefully, there will not be visa issues or travel restrictions. But, taking the road travel will be very difficult for millions of fans to travel from Tanzania to Kenya to Uganda. I think they experimented it at last year's CHAN, the African Nations Championship, and it was difficult for some people that went there. So we should expect similar things too as well, except maybe CAF or the LOCL put logistics for travel for fans and maybe for journalists. Maybe that would help solve the problem. But unlike Morocco, it's natural. They are used to it. In fact, you will know that they welcome a lot of people because they are used to carrying a lot of millions of people around the days, around the week, around every year. In Tanzania, Kenya, and Uganda, I feel like it's going to be different. You expect more road travels, and maybe the number of fans and spectators that will be coming to the city to watch the game might overwhelm them. But let's hope that they have that sorted out before the competition starts. That's what I think, anyway.
And there's a bit of a rumor going around that CAF have decided, well, maybe not decided, but looking at the reality of cancelling the 2027 Africa Cup of Nations that will take place, as we have stated, in Uganda, Kenya, and Tanzania, just so that they can have some sort of level playing field in terms of starting from the 2028 edition into a 4-year cycle. None of that is confirmed yet, but that is the stories that we're hearing from the Confederation of African Football. Dele, your assessment of the AFCON, what would it be from a refereeing point of view? Because, I mean, I've heard so many stories, which I think is ridiculous, ludicrous, about CAF, FIFA president maybe getting involved and looking to aid Morocco into winning the Africa Cup of Nations. I don't know where people get these ideas from, but as a former referee, was there anything that you saw that could give any kind of credence to stories like this?
Thank you very much. I love the fact that you mentioned that as a former referee. You know that my analysis is not going to be coming from social media outrage, beer parlor gossip,
exactly,
or fans talk.
Which is why we brought you here.
You see, when as an assessor, you want to assess a referee, the parameters are different. I want to assess the referee from positioning and reading, his anticipation, his consistency, the teamwork, VAR usage, and all that. These are the parameters that, as a referee assessor, that I want to assess referee from. And there is always a perception, and that is the truth, that when there is a competition like that, people want to x-ray the action and inaction of the referee to see if it favors the home team. It doesn't start with Morocco. Not even AFCON alone. We have seen situations whereby even at the World Cup, that people want to think that is this referee taking these decisions because it involves the home team. Yeah, so as a referee, I would say, yes, there are decisions that when you look at it, you think that this decision has favored a side, but also you want to look at it. At the end of the day, the winner of the AFCON or okay, let's forget about the winner now. Let's look at each of the games that is played. Will you say that those games are played because the referee manipulated? How many of the 52 matches that are played that as a result of the referee's manipulation? You can hardly get one. And at the end of the day, if decision of the referee on the pitch does not impact in the outcome of a game, you can say it's a successful game. So from a referee angle, I will say, irrespective of what people are saying, the social media outrage and all that, I will give the referee 8.5. Not because there are not errors.
Yeah.
But are there errors of the mind or errors of the head? That is what you want to talk about. And when you are talking about error of the mind, that is predetermined. That is, will a referee go to the pitch of play with the mindset that at that level, at any level, anyway, that I want team A to win above team B? I wouldn't say that happened.
Yeah, but being the
Morocco.
hosts of the Cup of Nations, Morocco is under pressure to perform. Lots of money spent in terms of infrastructure, in terms of convincing players to come and play for Morocco who could have opted to play for other countries. There's so many of them, you know. Does that play in the mind of a referee going into the game where a host nation is playing? Does that kind of mess up your mentality? Knowing that, look, everyone's eyes is on me and I have to find a way, some kind of way, to favor the host.
Well, it is important that it is the same thing that will be in the mind of the referee, that will be in the mind of CAF president, for instance, that will be in the mind of Charles if he's at the stadium when Morocco is playing. And what is that? The Morocco is the host. And a referee will not want to make any mistake at all. But if that mistake is going to come, if it is human, it is better it doesn't come against the host team. You get my point. You don't want to make a mistake. Do you understand?
That this favors the home team.
You don't want to make any mistake at all.
At all.
And the CAF president that is seated will not want his referee to make a mistake. But if at all there is going to be a mistake, I don't want to make a mistake. But if I thought there'd be a mistake,
let it be in favor.
Not be against the home
Not be
team.
against the host
I don't
team.
know if you understand what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
There is possibility that as a human being, that is in your head. But it is not that a referee will go to the field of play at that level that I want to outrightly go and favor the home team.
Look, I can understand what you're talking about, and Ademola, maybe you want to chime in on this one, but when he speaks about a referee not wanting to make a mistake, knowing that the home team is on the pitch of play, it kind of reminds me of the MPFL. Yeah. Where games are sort of, and I'm not saying this because I have any kind of proof whatsoever. I'm just saying, where games are supposedly skewed in favor of the home team. Yeah. Do referees, in your opinion, because you've been around major tournaments on the African continent and beyond, do you think, and I'll ask you this as well, Dele, do referees sit amongst themselves and say, look, this is what we need to do, either to save face, either to curry favor, or whatever it is? Do you think that really happens?
Yes, I think so. And I have to agree to as well with him. And I feel like I was at the stadium, when you hear the noise from the home support, the stadium was about, I think, a 70,000 capacity, less than 100, for Nigeria's game in the semi-final, less than 100 or 200, less than 700 were Nigerians out of 70,000. So every time the referee makes a call, you always hear the noise from the fans. If it's against Moroccans, you're hearing them booing the referee, and if it's in support of them, you're hearing them cheering. That alone puts pressure on the referee not to make a mistake. What I would also say is that experience also matters. So I would also fault appointment of referees. If you appoint a referee that is not experienced, is obviously bound to make mistake against the away team or in support of the home team, because it does not want to have to come out of the game probably with the fans angry at him.
But in terms of appointing referees who are inexperienced, Dele, before a major competition, CAF selects the best of the referees from all of the African countries.
I've had all this, and I don't know where referees not experienced is coming from. I'm not sure there is even one referee in the last AFCON that is going for his first AFCON. Like the other AFCON before this one, we have a lot of referees because there are a lot of retirements between the AFCON in Cameroon or Zadila before the last one and the last one. That we have a lot of referees coming for their first AFCON. This particular AFCON, I'm not sure there is one that was a fresh when it comes to AFCON experience. Even if that is your first AFCON experience, before you can say somebody is inexperienced, before someone can become a FIFA referee, for instance, you must have been a referee maybe for minimum of 8, 9, 10 years. Now, for you to now be an elite referee to the extent of you officiating at AFCON. So, and if somebody is having a decade of experience in something, you cannot say that such a person is inexperienced. And you are saying someone that has officiated AFCON qualifiers, possibly CHAN, under 17 World Cup, under 20 World Cup. These are the credentials that some of these referees are having. So you cannot see there is one referee in that AFCON that is inexperienced. But when it comes to the appointment itself, I cannot blame the CAF appointment committee. But there are some things that happen in this particular AFCON that has never happened before. Even as referee, we are looking at it that, why is this? Okay, let me give you an example. I've not said the referees are culpable in any way, but we are just looking at pattern of the appointment that is not consistent with what we have seen in the past. And it's not that it favors one side or the other. In fact, there are some of them that even favor Nigeria, and I will tell you why. There are a lot of Nigerian matches that are officiated.
Just because you mentioned Nigeria, just quickly, Nigeria, Algeria, where the referee refused to give a penalty for Algeria, and a lot of people saying the ball came off the Nigerian's thigh before hitting his hand, and that was the reason. Just play that situation back in your head once again. And do you agree with the referee's decision?
The referee was technically correct because that is the interpretation of the handball. You see, handball is not handball because the ball has touched your hand. That is not what handball is. There are considerations, and there are different considerations for attacking handball and defensive handball. These are things that. So
in that situation, it was a defensive handball.
Yes, and it was correct because before handball can be punishable, it has to be deliberate. And deliberate handball means that there should be movement of the hand towards the ball. So, but when your hand is in natural position, then it comes to hit your body and hit the hand.
But I've seen places where the hand is in a natural position and the referee still gives a penalty. So sometimes it's interpretation and understanding.
Yes, it is interpretation because even the natural position we are talking about, there are also some other context. For instance, the proximity also matters. For instance, if your hand is in a natural position, and the ball is coming from a very...
What you're doing like this, is that a natural position for a footballer on the pitch? It's not, because I see...
It depends on your... You know that the natural position of your hand also depends on the position of your body. For instance, if you are jumping, your natural position of hand change. When you are running, the natural position of the hand change. When you are standing, do you understand? So position of the hand cannot be explained without also talking about your position of the body. As you are seated like this, there is a position that your hand is taking. If you are walking, your hand will not be this way. If you are running, your hand will not be this way. If you are jumping, your hand will not be this way.
Okay, if you're jumping, where should your hand be?
Of course, you are using your hand to elevate your body.
When players jump and their hands is up in the air and the ball touches their hand, referee gives a penalty. Because you can't jump and your hands are like this. You can't.
Yes, you cannot jump. So there are a lot of considerations, even at that level. That's why we say that you cannot look at one incident to judge another incident. That is why you take each incident in its own merit. Because even in consideration of handball, that is what we also call additional movement of the hand. Your hand may be in a natural position. Maybe you are jumping. But when you look at the footage, especially with the advantage of VAR now, so in as well as this person is jumping, he also have an additional movement. We have additional movement. We have second movement. These are all the things that referee look at. So, but for that particular incident we are talking about, technically the referee was right.
Okay, I don't want to take you away from your line of thoughts. You were speaking about an unusual
appointment. Yeah, okay. So I think that particular game was officiated by a Ghanaian referee, and that's not the pattern, because Nigeria is a West African country. Algeria is a North African country. The pattern we are used to is such appointment. The referee will come from either East Africa, other zones that are not West Africa or North Africa. But in this particular commission we have, institution whereby you will see a particular side of West Africa is playing North Africa. The referee is coming from West Africa. So there is already a pressure on that referee. So, and it is not a pattern we are used to. The man that officiated in the final.
Does it really matter where?
But it
does it really matter where a referee comes from? Because I also remember in the World Cup qualifiers, Nigeria against DR Congo, and CAF gave us a South African referee, and Nigerians were complaining.
Brilliant. It's like that's a perfect appointment, for instance, because the truth is that DR Congo is from Central Africa, Nigeria is from West Africa. You are bringing South Africa. That's a perfect appointment. It will not. People could read meaning to that appointment if we're still in the group stage.
But we're not.
Yes, if we're not in group stage, because it is not only. It is not only for you to be fair. You must be seen to be fair. It is not because you feel that, okay, this person is definitely going to do something. It's just like Shooting Stars is playing Kano Pillars. Then you bring referee from Lagos to officiate a game. The referee from Lagos can go and do the match successfully. But again, a man from Kano will feel that, why do you bring referee that can jog from Lagos to the match venue when I'm coming from Kano? Why can't you bring somebody from the East? So it is not about just you being fair. It is also about you being seen to be fair. So that is just.
So there's a lot of political decisions in choosing referees.
There are a lot of logical decisions. I will not call it political. There are a lot of logical considerations.
And to be honest, this is where the conspiracy comes into play. The idea is that if you appoint the Ghanaian referee and Nigeria wins and he blows in favor of Nigeria, he's doomed as a referee because he seems to support his neighbors, Nigeria. And if he supports the host nation, Morocco, is also doomed because they feel like, his influence, CAF wants Morocco to win. So obviously on paper, he should not have been appointed. When it comes to experience that we talked about, experience in the sense that when it comes to the latter stage of the competition, semi-finals and final, you want to appoint the very best. You want to ensure that the very best officiates the game. Same thing for the World Cup, same thing for the Champions League. If you have experience, you can start with the knockout stage, and after 2, 3, 4 competitions, if they see you are the best among the officials, they can now progress or take it to the next level. So when it comes to appointing the referees, ensure you are fair in the appointment. And to appoint a neutral person, don't appoint the rival of the country's playing, and also don't appoint a referee from the same
but every
region.
country is a rival. I don't know how Algeria, Nigeria, North Africa, West Africa, and you know that they are rivals. So that's
Algeria should be in the better position to protest that appointment, and that's what I told so many people.
It was for Nigeria-Morocco's game.
Nigeria-Morocco.
Yeah, we had the Ghanaian ref for that game. So that's why. So for the Algeria-Nigeria game, they appointed a North African referee, I think. As well.
No. The Nigeria-Algeria game had a Ghanaian referee.
Yeah, Ghanaian referee.
Also, the Morocco-Nigeria game also had a Ghanaian referee.
No, not a Ghanaian referee. I think from not from
No, it wasn't
Ghana.
from Ghana.
There are no.
He had the welcome in Ghana.
That's the man that officiated Nigeria,
Morocco.
Nigeria, Algeria. The Nigeria Morocco.
Because we lost.
Anyway,
that's why he had the backlash.
Nigeria Morocco was a Ghanaian referee.
That's why he had the backlash.
Nigeria Morocco was a Ghanaian referee. Nigeria Algeria, I think from Senegal also.
Okay, let's talk about your experience in Morocco. Yeah, what were the feelers on the streets? Did Morocco expect that they were going to win the tournament? Was that the general expectation of the population? How did they treat you as a visitor to their country? How did you deal with the weather? Stuff like that.
Yeah, okay. I think they're expecting to win, to be honest. They are just won the Under-20 World Cup. they at the last WAFCON, the Women's African Cup of Nations, they got to the final. So they're expecting that the team did well at in the World Cup, got to the semi-final of the World Cup. And so they're expecting to at least do well at this competition and also win. They played all their games in the same stadium. They stayed in the same facility throughout the competition. They camped. They have a fantastic complex. I think Football Complex 6 in Rabat. And they trained all throughout the competition in that complex. Did not travel at all. So, and with the talent they have in the team, Bono, Akemi, and the rest, they're expecting to at least win the competition. First time in over 50 years. And on the street tour as well, the fans were expecting them to do well. You know, with the few interactions I had on the street, they're expecting them to at least face Egypt or Senegal in the final and go on to win the competition at home. Outside the stadium, welcoming people. When it gets to the game itself, it's a different ball game entirely. You know, you have heard stories of North African antics. You see times 10 at the stadium. Even if it's Morocco, Morocco is like the least, you know, compared to, you know, some would say Tunisia, Libya. You know, we had our experience in Libya at the World Cup qualifier. So for Morocco, what they did is they wanted to use the situation to the advantage to win. You know, in terms of tickets being scarce to the away teams, trying to scatter supporting the away supporters around the stadium with the whistles too as well, with lasers. You know, also with the fact that we had the towel incident where they were trying to snatch the. Some would say it's for voodoo reasons, as jazz or juju. But the idea is that it was raining and you don't want the goalkeepers to dry their hands or clean their faces. And that's the idea. So they did everything possible.
What was it like accommodation-wise? Was it because I know of some situations, some countries where you host a major tournament like that, and it's an opportunity for people to hike their prices, accommodation, feeding, restaurants, and all the whatnot. Was it like that in Morocco?
Surprisingly, it was cheaper because I think they have a lot of apartment complex. So what most people do is when they travel to Morocco for competitions, they use applications like Airbnb, Booking.com, get apartments, and you can share the apartments, and that way it's overall cheaper. You can get per day maybe $100 and you can share around 4 people or 5 people, which is very cheap compared to other West African countries.
Oh, that's great.
Some of my colleagues that went to Cote d'Ivoire complained that their accommodation prices were higher compared to what they have in Morocco. So they have a lot of facilities and it means they are ready they can host major competitions because of that fact. You know, when countries have very limited hotels and apartments, when there's competitions, the price will go up because demand is very high, but the supply is low. But Morocco, the reverse is the case. The supply is also very, very high and they're used to tourists, you know, coming to their city. In Fez, which was like a small city, we also have a lot of tourist activities here. We had the Old Medina. We had the first university in the world, the University of Al Qarawin. We had Ifran, where it snows regularly. There are a lot of activities there. So they expect a lot of tourists around the year. And they are used to those activities.
So do you have a problem with people like Azizat Oshoala, who complained about Morocco hosting major tournaments for CAF and saying, and this is me paraphrasing, saying, not only Morocco, why can't other nations host, you know, major tournaments? Because the WAFCON will be going back to Morocco.
Yes.
You know, so do you have a problem with that, knowing that there's a dearth of countries with a desire to host CAF tournaments?
Yes, and it's because they know that they're going to lose money when they host competitions like that. To host competition, you need to invest and you need to spend a lot of money to be able to successfully use the competition. For Oshoala, she's speaking from a personal point of view. At the last WAFCON, they went through a lot. In terms of the hotel, they got very small hotels. It was intentional for them to also frustrate them so that when they face the host, they are also intimidated by the host. And they also felt officiating was not in their favor in the final. So they feel like CAF is doing everything possible. That's from the players' perspective to ensure Morocco wins. You could see it in the CAF Awards. The female category, about 90% went to Morocco. Best coach, young player, interclub player of the year, best club, all of that went to Morocco. So it feels like Morocco is being pushed. That's how it feels. It might not be right. It might not be the main. It might not be the actual reason, but it feels for the players. It also feels like Morocco is being pushed.
What do you think? What do you think? Do you think CAF is deliberately looking to Morocco to win something, whether it be in the male football category or in the female? Is that what you think, knowing that you've been around the continent?
No, I don't think CAF is doing it directly, but I feel like indirectly it feels like they are. WAFCON will be happening in Morocco for the 3rd time consecutively. No other country is ready to host the WAFCON. We had the WAFCON film less than 12 months ago, about 9 months ago in Morocco. Now again in Morocco in March, we have another WAFCON, which is the important World Cup qualifiers.
Yeah.
So it feels like Morocco is being pushed to at least win something for everything they've given to CAF. And to be honest, they have really helped in this particular situation. Nobody wants to host the WAFCON because they also lose money at the WAFCON, hosting the WAFCON. So I feel like it seems like maybe indirectly, there's like everybody will be happy, basically, in CAF if Morocco wins a major competition.
Dele, I remember asking him if referees come together. There's a referees committee, yeah? At CAF level, even at local level.
At FIFA level.
At every level, there's a
every
referees
level,
committee. Now, do you guys come together, round table, to talk about the competition that you're about to officiate? Does that happen? You know, do you have a tete-a-tete amongst yourselves? Maybe, I don't know, just an idea. Okay, maybe we give them to this country. You know, just, does that happen?
You see, referees come together to talk about a game. Even if they have a game, they want to talk about that game. They want to look at the history of that game. They want to say so many things about that game because that's what we call match preparation. It helps them. They want to look at the culture of the team. They want to look at what is the history of this team. How do fans behave when these two teams play? All this help their preparation so that they are not shocked. But at the end of the day, referee will not come together and say, let's give this game to a particular team. That is not ethical. CAF, they don't, at any level of football, like I would say, match fixing is not only a sporting offense; it's a criminal offense. It's not a sporting offense; it's a criminal offense.
No, Dele, are you saying that referees are not involved in match fixing?
To the best of my knowledge, no. But we have seen several maybe.
As a former referee, have you ever been approached by anybody to compromise a game?
People are, yes, of course. Why not? If not,
tell us about it. Tell us. You know, I'm not. Look, I would love for you to give me names, yeah, and maybe even tell me which club it was that approached you or clubs. I don't know if you're going to do that. And I'm hoping that you will, but just tell us what happened.
I'm not going to do that.
Well, tell us what happened.
But it's very possible that you have a game, then you receive a call that this particular team for so if they can anything. Of course, they will not come out to say let them win. You see, anything you can do to assist them technically,
When you say,
they will not come out and say let this team
okay,
win.
When you say,
you can say talking about my personal experience now.
I don't know
when
when you say you receive a call, is it coming from the hierarchy of the MPFL board? Is it coming from the hierarchy of the clubs?
I've not even said that it's an MPFL match. I've said that it is.
I'm just assuming.
I'm not saying it is MPFL match. I'm just saying that it is, as a referee, it is possible that you receive a call or someone will approach you and say, if there is anything you can do.
Tell us your experience, Tom.
If there is anything you can do.
Tell us your experience.
To assist this
team. Hang on. Tell us your experience. Because I know it's happened to you before. So tell us what happened. How did you receive the call or the approach? Yeah? What happened?
Even when you are even going for a pre-match meeting, you will see the boys at the stadium. All this our home. If no security for you,
that's the fans.
If the fans,
Yeah.
This is our home. No security for you. And when they are saying that, they are deliberate about that. You are from Lagos. You have gone to Maiduguri, for instance, to officiate, and somebody is telling you that this is our home. No security for you. They are sending a message to you that anything can happen to you. That if we don't win, anything can happen to you. So that in itself is also an approach, that informal approach that happens. And like I've said, you can be in your hotel room. Somebody say, help us. I'm not saying you should let us win. Football is playing in the open. Everybody will see if we have not won fairly. But if there is anything you can do, so nobody will tell you categorically that let us win. But if there is anything you can, because football is playing in the open, so if you make them win, the whole world will know that you have made them win. But if there is anything you can do, so what is that anything you can do to assist us? So
no, but they can't be asking you to assist them without them giving you something in return. Abi?
you can ask for somebody's assistant without giving the person anything.
Oh,
in
come on,
return.
Dele. Come
It's
on, now.
possible now.
Come on. You can't tell me that referees have not been compromised at whatever level. But sticking with the MPFL, you can't tell me that club administrators have not approached referees and given them something to help them alter or favor them in a game. You can't tell me that, Dele. Come on.
Maybe it has happened. Who
You
knows?
spoke about security, yeah?
Yeah.
A referee should be secure in whatever game that he's officiating, yeah?
There is major part of, apart from discussing colors, a technical meeting that we call pre-match meeting. The next most important thing that meeting discusses security. There is a minimum number of security that is expected in every
According to
match
the
game.
MPFL, it's 50.
Yes.
50, yeah?
Yeah.
Have you ever been beaten up before?
I've been beaten up before.
Where?
I've been beaten in Kano. Yeah. Kano Pillar versus Eyimba. In fact, it happened a week after my wedding.
Goodness.
Last Saturday, I wedded my wife. This Saturday, I was beaten in Kano.
No, but you're not a referee anymore, no?
Yes,
you're
when
talking
I was
about
a
that
referee.
you're talking about that period.
Yeah,
Okay,
period,
okay.
Yeah, period,
Okay.
that period, yes.
So even with the security, so you mean security is not guaranteed?
Even with the security, you are not secured. And the problem with the security is this. If you go to stadium regularly, I know you go to stadium regularly, you will see that for a whole season, it's possible that you will see the same faces as security. So over a period of time, even security are also fans of the home team. Even the security that are deployed. Because every of their home game, they are also the same people that are coming to secure you, coming to secure the away team. And all. So at a point that they are also sympathetic to the victory of the home team. And because of our factor, when the home team wins, there are a lot of people that the chairman will make happy. Do you understand? When the home team has won, the chairman wants to show love.
Including the referee.
No. I'm not talking about the referee
Just
now.
security now.
We are
Security
talking
and
about
okay.
even people that are the fans that are coming. The chairman can give them something, this, and all that. So if they don't win, they don't look at it that it is because our team has not played well. They look at it that it is the referee that has made us not to win. There is before you go there, there is also this angle of betting too. That has also.
You know, I'm glad you brought this up. You know, because I've made this argument before, Ademola, that look, there's a preponderance of betting companies in the country, around the world.
Yes.
It's not just Nigeria, around the world. And we've heard of incidents where players, even in the Premier League, have been involved in betting, yeah? And I'm not saying it's because of the betting companies. I'm just saying that, is it possible that betting companies are also aiding, or maybe not aiding, but the reason why this is constantly happening in the game of football?
Yes, betting plays a major role, I would say. And it becomes worse in leagues where, the salaries is not so, it's not really nice. Because there's a higher temptation for them to want
in
to
the
fix
Premier League,
games.
they earn millions.
Yes.
And they're still having those issues in the Premier League.
I agree, but that's
It's
why
even
the
worse.
percentage is now lower among players compared to other leagues that are probably, players are not paid well. And that's what the problem is. It's for a Premier League player, he might not want to throw away millions he earns every year for maybe a little game. But it's different in maybe the local league where a player earns less than $1,000, less than $500 in a month. It's easier for them to maybe succumb to that and fix games because they can earn millions from just fixing their home game, conceding or giving away a penalty. And maybe it's more difficult to track because they can do all of that offline. They can give somebody the money, tell their cousin, play this game for me, go to a local shop and play, and it's difficult to track. In Europe, it's easier to track. Maybe that's why. It happens everywhere in the world, I agree, but I say the percentage is lower outside and it's easier to catch and spot all of that, in the Premier League, for example, compared to in the MPFL. So that's like
I'm glad we raised the issue of salaries the regular referee on the African continent, specifically here in Nigeria, yeah,
Yes.
do they earn enough, Dele? Do they earn enough?
They don't.
You know, what would be the average salary of a referee in this country? And do we have professional referees in Nigeria?
Well, number one, referees don't have salary. Not only in Nigeria, all over the world, referees don't have salary because refereeing is not a job. Referee is a hobby. So that is why you hear somebody officiating, even at the World Cup, they will tell you that this person is a police officer, this person is a lecturer, this person is a soldier.
So there's nothing like a professional referee.
Recently, I will get there. Recently, we have few professional referees, but majority, 95% of referees are not professional. I'm not talking about Nigeria alone. In fact, there is no one professional referee in Nigeria. Now, referee, in fact, part of the condition for you to be recruited to referee is to have a means of livelihood.
Okay.
So you must have a means of livelihood. Then referee can now be, they say side hustle now. So it's a hobby for you.
Okay.
Referee is a hobby for you. So referees are not salaried. But referees are paid for officiating games.
Yeah.
So when you go for a game, for instance, then you are paid. So it is not whether the salaries they are paid are enough, but what they are paid for officiating game in Nigeria, if you hear, you because
No, correct me if I'm wrong. I hear that as of today, the stipend, let me call it that, the stipend the referee gets for going to a place like maybe Port Harcourt is 150,000. Is that correct?
Well,
but they take care of your transport and accommodation, so the 150 goes into your pocket.
The way MPFL is structured, if I leave Lagos to Port Harcourt, for instance, to officiate a game, the same game, three of us, I'm the referee, I'm leaving Lagos for Port Harcourt. Maybe I may be paid 150,000, and the 150,000 is total, is everything. If you are my AR1, for instance, and you are coming from Kano, because Kano to Port Harcourt is farther than Lagos to Port Harcourt, you will be getting 160. Now, if you are coming from Owerri for the same game, you can be getting 120. You understand?
Yeah.
That is, so that what you are getting, that is plus your indemnity, your accommodation, and every other thing. Now, but your hotel accommodation will be provided for you.
Yes.
And you're also going to eat there.
Yes.
So hotel accommodation is feeding, perhaps, is what you are going to get from there. So if at the end of the day, I travel to Port Harcourt by road, to and fro, and I spend, say, 90,000, it's from that my 150. If you travel from Owerri and you spend 25,000 to and fro, it's from 120. If you travel from Kano to Port Harcourt and you spend 110 to and fro, it's from that one.
So you cannot. So what it means is that referees do not fly.
You can fly. Why not? You can fly if you can afford to fly.
No, I'm talking about from the package that you get.
If you can afford to fly, you can fly.
No, but we know that a flight ticket now to Abuja is way above the 150.
If you can, there was one match commissioner that came for, I think, one of the Kurodu United's game or something, that flew from wherever he came from. And he lodged himself in a Federal Palace Hotel.
So that's coming from you.
When they put them in a particular place, he put himself in Federal Palace Hotel and all that. So because he can afford to do that. So on his own. I've told you earlier that referee is not a hobby. So we have a general. In Nigeria referee, we have a General Fawale. Is a referee in the Nigeria League. If, for instance, he has a game, for instance, do you know how many people, what do you call them now?
Boys,
that will be with him and all that. So if he wants to go and officiate in a place, he can decide to fly himself. He's a general in Nigeria. So that we have medical doctors. We have so many people like that. So there are some people that, by virtue of what they do, they can afford to do some of these things themselves. But can the hobby makes you fly? No, it can't.
Okay, I noticed both of you are wearing.
Coincidentally, Tango is not the same.
I don't know. Did you guys plan this? But we have to talk about the Super Eagles at the AFCON, and I don't want to talk about the game in itself because the Super Eagles, I mean, they did well.
Okay.
When you compare to the World Cup qualifiers, this is a far cry from what we saw. But I want to dwell on issues around the team in itself. Yeah, all of the controversies, the strike before the game against Morocco. Is that something that you would sanction? You know, where players refuse to play for their national teams because they're not getting their monies from the Football Federation?
To be honest, it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. When the players refused, when there was rumor that the players were not going to train, you know, even the information spread online. On local radio in Morocco, it was also being said. And you hear taxi drivers tell you that your players are not training because of money. Why? They have money. Why won't they train for the national team? So it brings shame, I would say, to the country. It's not something that's nice. And you can understand from the player's perspective, when you work for something you're supposed to get paid, that's from the angle they're taking it as. And some will say that too, maybe they are frustrated at the fact that if they don't protest now, maybe they don't get their money later, looking at the previous pattern. So maybe they don't trust the current administration. But I would always say that if you're representing the national team, you should always try your best to give your best and ignore, all of this. You can fight for your money later, but I'm not in their shoes, so I don't have the right to tell them how to react. But looking at the fact that they also got, their prize, is it the land and
the
money?
lands and all the whatnot.
You would not have expected them to do that. And the captain of the side really said that if they're not going to be paid, he's going to use his personal funds to pay them. So Ndidi showed sympathy and he understands the situation. But it's always a shame that it keeps happening, and you should not expect this to be happening at major competitions, to be honest.
Look, I got a lot of stake on social media because of my belief, which I stand by. I do not frown at anybody who agitates for their monies because it's what you've worked for, yeah? But what I find offensive is when you agitate in a foreign land where everybody else is not talking about your performance on the pitch or what you can bring, but they're talking about the issues around the national team, which spews nothing but negativity for the country. No matter how you look at it, anytime they talk about the Super Eagles at AFCON 2025, it will be about that situation. That's what the reference will be. But that's my opinion. That's how I feel. And I don't shy away from it. But I don't know if you think differently.
You see, let me quickly say this. When I was in secondary school, I know maybe we also have this experience. And we are playing Principal Cup. We are the boys of the school. We are playing for the school, but it will get to a level that the school will feel that these boys, you can't play this game. Let's go and look for Mercenaries, so boys that are not students of the school, to come and play for the school, and they will be playing. They are better. They are older. They are everything, and when by the time we are out of the competition, there is no sympathy. There is no empathy. They just want to get their money and go away. Yeah. You see, Nigerian national team players are beginning to behave like mercenaries. That is the way I look at it. They are beginning to behave like mercenaries, that they don't really care about the country. They don't care about what we feel. We are here for the money. We are here for the gain. That is the, because this happened during the World Cup qualifier. And unfortunately, we did not qualify. When we feel that this boy will want to go to AFCON, it's not compensatory enough, but we want to do everything. Let money secondary. Let's put everything online and make these people happy for once. And boom, start behaving like mercenary again. Where's our money? Where's our money? So for me, I think that is just, and when I look at it, sometimes I look at it, if everybody is foreign born, Nigeria. If they are all foreign born, they may not really understand what these people are feeling. They don't know. But a good number of them also we grow together here,
Yeah.
we live
Yeah.
together here. They know they can feel what the country is feeling. But so for me, in as much as they have the right to fight for their money, so they should also look at it that beginning that the country was everything that made them what they are. That should be because a good number of these players, you know them. Let me say I know them from the street when they were playing this Fashola Lagos League, this league, hoping that one day I will play for under 17. The also under 17 came and he opened the door, and from there you are moving from one grace to another opportunity, and you become. In fact, if you look at what you have made, what you have earned, because of what the opportunity the country gives to you, if they say come and do everything for the country FOC, you should be willing to do. We are not saying come and do it anyway. You should be willing to, but because this culture of mercenary is all over them. Though some other people have also said that if you see football administrators outside Nigeria, the way they carry themselves, the boys are right. I was not in Morocco. Ademola was in Morocco. He saw the administrators. So maybe there are also something that these boys see, the kind of life that these boys see in the administrator, and they feel that these administrators are here because of us. Why should they be living this large and we are treated this low? Let's ask for this money. It's not because we need it, but let's ask for this money. Maybe that is it.
Yeah.
But I'm beginning to think that in most cases, they behave like mercenaries.
Yeah.
And it is unfortunate.
Ademola, he mentions administrators. I was going to go there. You know, we can't entirely blame the players, yeah? The administrators also play a huge part in trying to ameliorate the problems, you know, that the team has when they go for tournaments.
Yes.
What was the explanation that administrators gave in Morocco for not paying the team in time their monies?
Also, they said CBN, they have to send money to Nigeria and it takes a long time to process. That's why. Yeah. But I feel like for the players, so like you said, I have to agree with him. Maybe they can play for the country for free. Maybe the idea is that they don't want to see somebody spend their money lavishly. And they feel like, well, this money should be going to us. So why is somebody taking our money? I feel like that's the angle maybe they are coming from. And also, they are also tired of failed promises. Maybe that's also another reason. You know, I asked some of their old colleagues that are old, you know, the bonuses for years. Some of them even died without getting paid. And they don't want the case to be, they don't want the same case to be for them. And also, they don't want it to be that somebody else is taking their money while they are just playing and suffering themselves. So I think the idea for them might be, I'm not entirely sure. It might be the fact that they're ready to play for free for the country, ready to die for the country. But at the same time, they don't want somebody somewhere to sit on the money. At the end of the day, they don't get anything, and somebody's enjoying off their sweat. Maybe that's the argument.
Sometimes I think the Football Federation, the Sports Commission, House Committee members and sports, I think sometimes the contingents to these tournaments are overbloated. I think they're overbloated.
Oh yeah, I agree. Actually.
Is that a better word for overbloating? Because sometimes
because I mean, especially now in Morocco, I looked at the list of people who went to Morocco, and I'm wondering,
all the FHR
was there a reason why all of these people had to be there for the tournament? Was there a genuine reason?
Honestly,
you know, and what really irks me the most as well, you know, I put out a comment on social media about this same issue, and the response I got from somebody and a few people as well was, make themselves no enjoy. So you start to wonder, what exactly is it that Nigerians want? Is it when it favors you, everything is okay, honky-dory,
sure.
and when it doesn't, then you have reason to cry foul? You know, I'm just wondering.
Yes.
Because the truth is that, yes, make them to no enjoy with budget. Anybody can go to Morocco. He was in Morocco. Nobody will ask him that, why are you in Morocco?
Exactly.
Because he's not in Morocco with taxpayers' money.
Yes.
You understand? So even if his sponsor is maybe his gig from his effort and all that, but when you know that these people, this number, they are there with taxpayers' money, then you begin to wonder.
Bring. That's the most important thing. What value do they
Exactly.
bring?
What's the value?
Back tonight. That's the most important thing. Are they going to learn? Are you taking reference to go and learn from the game? Are you taking maybe stadium managers, look at how they manage
Yeah,
facilities. You have to take somebody that will go and learn
Yeah.
and bring that knowledge back to Nigeria, not someone to just come and watch as a fan and enjoy off tax lab.
Well, maybe a state FA chairman was in Morocco, then he's back now, and in 3 months later they begin to do something different. Now it's okay because when I was in Morocco,
This is what I
this
saw.
is what
This
I
is
saw.
what I
That's why
learned.
we are doing this differently. One will feel that okay, these travelings are beginning to impact in our football and all that. But when it is just business as usual, you go there to enjoy yourselves. Very, very expensive.
And there are rumors that some people even go to watch the games. So they can't get tickets at the games. So
Of course, no.
Look, trust me.
What we hear, we cannot be saying it.
Trust me. Half of the people who go to these tournaments never go to the football stadiums to watch the games. I can tell you that for free.
Of course,
I can tell you that for free. Unbelievable stuff. But you were in Morocco.
Yes.
People say there's a thin line between journalism and content creation.
Yes.
Yeah. Coach Eric Schell shut down access to the players because he didn't want any sort of distraction.
Yes.
Because people believe that content creators were distracting the team. Yeah. Are you a journalist? Are you a content creator? I saw you on TikTok picking up an award.
Yes.
What was that about?
Also, that's for sports creator of
Okay.
the year. So for me, I'll call myself first a sports promoter, Nigerian sport promoter, then a journalist. So the sport promoter because I talk about just Nigerian sport and I do everything possible to ensure the general population are aware of that is the local leagues, grassroots sports, cadet football, under 17, under 20, and all of that, and try to push and promote that. That's the angle I come from. So after that, I'm then a journalist to provide information for the general population. But for the aspect of content creators, I would say, to answer your question, yes and no. Yes, they can be a distraction, and no if they are doing all the stuff within the rules of the game. So for CAF, for competitions like that, you have just 15 minutes to observe training, and it's just warm up from a distance. You can only interview players when it's on the program, and you work with the media officer to interview players. It becomes a distraction when people say, oh, when you have opportunity to interview a player before a major match, don't ask him questions relating to what did he eat last night, what's his best sleep routine, all of that. Ask questions relating to the game that can make impact, to provide information to the people watching, not questions that will distract the players or not tell the players to dance. That's what caused most of this argument. And also, when you look at the idea of content creation, people going to the stadium to watch training, they don't understand what is a tactical session, what's the training program. They just want to share every single thing. But some people want to go there and live stream the whole training session, not knowing that opponents are watching. So you have to understand, first understand the game, have passion for the game. And even if you're a content creator, understand that the players are the most important thing first, not you as an individual. And you should ensure you tell your story in that particular line. Nowadays, content creation is global. You know, iShowSpeed just came to Lagos. Got 50 million subscribers in Nigeria. It makes a lot of money from it, and it also impacts. And it can also be a positive impact to young people.
I beg, who is iShowSpeed? Because I caught up on his story, how he'd been to major African countries, But who is he? What does he do? Who is iShowSpeed?
Is it because we have said this now?
Okay.
I'm very happy and relieved. Do you know why? I now know that I'm not the only one that does not know iShowSpeed before iShowSpeed came to Nigeria. Because I'm beginning to think that, so as social media savvy that I thought that I was, I didn't even know was iShowSpeed until it came to Nigeria. So Charles Anazodo does not know iShowSpeed.
I have no idea. And how he's becoming such an instant sensation. Talking and everybody wants to, but he's not the focus, guys. That's So what is it that you guys? I want to put you in the bracket of a content creator, But what is it that you benefit by covering competitions like this?
So when you cover competitions as content creator, you can get massive reach, covering competitions. So massive in the sense of following online and views online. And that can translate, to building a strong brand. And maybe you can also get brand to partner with you and you can attend more competitions. Once you have a purpose, you can direct content creation to grow your audience and use that to achieve your main aim. For me, the main aim is to tell sports stories and promote Nigerian sports. People might have different aims. Some people aim might be to, get that numbers and be popular and maybe be on TV someday. So everybody has different purposes for content creation, but you should have an aim when you create content.
Because I hear the weirdest of questions, yeah.
Yes.
And sometimes I tell people that in sports there really isn't any bad question.
Yeah.
There really is not. It depends on how the person you're asking responds to it, and everything's a story.
Yeah.
I remember in Cameroon, we're talking to the national team, and somebody stood up and said to Okoye, fine goalkeeper, fine boy, and said to him, how do you deal with the sort of attention that you get from girls?
Because
you're handsome.
Yeah.
It was, at the time, everybody turned around. It sounded like a stupid question. But that same question was everywhere on the BBC, on the CNN, there really isn't any
And the
stupid
technical question that you're asking is
the
nowhere.
technical one is nowhere because...
I actually want to say something to the issue, to that issue when it went viral. You see, number one, for me, it's semantic because even the journalists who are also creating content, the only thing is that we've never said it in the past, that journalists are also, whether it is text content that people will read or audio content or visual content and all that. Now, I think that was not the first time that a coach will close door against journalists at a point in time that we want to go into private session. That was not the only time. It is because the awareness is that everything is now content, and people that know that even when we put it out there, that we are not allowed to watch training or to cover training is going to also give us massive reach because it is huge now.
Because that is a story in itself.
That is a story that we are not allowed to cover the training.
Yeah.
And before you know what is happening, you now discover that journalists are now not allowed to cover the training. The training was even trending more than when they were covering the stories, the trainings, and they were now giving us content. Because all the questions that they were asking about, what did you eat yesterday? What did you not eat? When they asked those questions, I didn't even see it. But when they were not allowed to cover the stories, and some people are now saying, is it type of a question you want to go and ask? That's when I started seeing this. So at the end of the day, the content creators, as we call them, even not covering the story, gave them more mileage than covering the stories.
Yes, I agree. And maybe just to add to as well, so those type of questions attract different type of audiences. Some people that when you post content about the Super Eagles, they don't care about tactics and strategy. They don't want to watch.
Yeah.
Well, they want to see Osimhen talk about his favorite food. They want to see Osimhen talk about who is dating currently or how many children he has. So the story would reach a different audience. So every story would matter. It might feel stupid to somebody. By the end of the day, you might see millions of views because they have the particular target audience, and that's like the case. And now social media, we have different ways of sharing information. Unlike in the past, where people are always listening to radios or buying newspapers, is now different. Everybody's on social media now. So, and that has bred a new group of creators.
Okay, talking about content creation, Victor Osimhen was the signature of all eyes. For Nigeria beyond, because everybody thought, wow, world-class player playing at the AFCON, lots of great expectation on his shoulders. What happened to Victor Osimhen, Ademola? Because confirmed or not, I don't know what it is. You guys were there.
Yeah.
Did he threaten to leave the national team and walk out of the dressing room and wanted to go back to Turkey? Because there was a popular TV station that carried the story, But you were there in Morocco, so did any of these stories come to your table? Did you hear any such things?
Yeah. So what we heard, let me start with what I saw.
Okay.
And after the game, Osimhen went straight to the dressing room, picked his bag, dropped. I didn't see him with his tag, so he probably dropped his tag, and he walked past the mix zone alone.
Alone.
Yes. Then the NFF president followed him. And he went straight to the bus, probably straight to the hotel. The later we had stories that he threatened to leave. What we saw was him leaving while the team were in the dressing room and the coach having the press conference. So he didn't get permission from the coach to leave, probably also from the captain. So he left to the hotel. Still in Morocco. So the NFF
while he was leaving,
NFF president behind him.
Following him.
Yes. So I think the NFF president went to him and they spoke to him and maybe calmed him down. The fact that he wanted to go to Turkey might be true. Because for him to leave the dressing room and go out and walk out alone to the car with the NFF president following him maybe to try and solve the issue or talk to him. That might be the main explanation. But it was not public knowledge. We have had nothing then. And it's there might be truth to every rumor. It's very possible that he was angry. But you also say that you don't judge what the players say in the locker room and use that against him. Maybe that's why at the end of the day we saw that issue has been resolved with the players involved, which was Ademola Victor, Victor Osimhen, and Bruno. Is it Bruno? Onyemaechi, yeah. And yeah, that's the best knowledge we got. And we saw that that night it was in the hotel. It did not go anywhere. He ended up staying maybe after listening to the NFL president and a few of his colleagues, and that's it. But no concrete evidence to show that he actually left or he wanted to fly out that night. But he did leave early. He did go alone to the hotel, followed by the NFL president.
I don't know if you caught up with the comments made by Sunday Olise recently, where he made mention of the treatment meted out by Victor Osimhen to Victor Ekpeba, to the former coach Finidi George, and labeling it as disrespect to legends of the game. Do you have a problem with the attitude of Victor Osimhen?
Well, personally, I was not in Morocco. I saw the reaction on the screen, and I think that it is uncalled for. Most importantly, this is a game that they won well. I think that game ended 3-1. So if you had any issue about a pass that would have come to you, I think that there should be a better way to communicate it to your colleague.
I think it was Mozambique, 4-0.
4-0, yes. Okay.
Yes.
It should be a better way for you to communicate it. So for him to react that way in the footage of the camera, I think it is not good. And that is why some other people have said that, okay, you that desire this, there have also been several opportunities that you should have passed on the pitch and didn't pass and didn't eventually score. And people now started saying so many things. Olise himself is a legend. Finidi George that you spoke about and Ekpeba, they are legend of the game. Osimhen is still playing the game now, and he's going to be a legend of the game one day. So that's why I think at the end of the day, I think they will need to call him. Also tell him some of these things. I can't remember when he disrespect these people, but if Olise is saying it, I think it happened. Maybe perhaps it happened. So, but the most
Dele, you can't remember.
Finidi was quite popular.
Okay, I know that the issue of his Finidi, he didn't play when Finidi was the coach. I think he didn't come for the game.
He didn't come for the game.
I know that Finidi reported that. What did he say that time? That he called him, he didn't come and all that, and he said he was he injured?
Yeah.
But eventually he didn't come. He didn't come for the game, and So personally, I wouldn't know the reason why he didn't come, because I've always seen that he's a passionate player for Nigeria. So, but at the end of the day, people are going to judge you by your attitude. A lot of people have said that the reason why Osimhen will not play for big teams that he deserves to play for is because of his attitude. That I don't have information about that. But the truth is that the issue has been solved. Himself and Lukman, they were good at the end of the day at the tournament. I will feel that something like that does not happen again.
Okay, our time is fast spent. Demola, my last question to you would be on Samuel Chukwueze. Missing that penalty. Yeah. A lot of people say it was casual. He missed because he was chewing gum. Some things that are unimaginable in terms of expressions. But what was his reaction after that? Did you guys try to speak with him, find out exactly what he was thinking? Was his morale low? People just thought he was lackadaisical because the coach actually dropped him after playing that one game.
I mean, after the game, they all looked bad. They're sad, walking past the mixed zone. We lost 2-0. But for them, all of that, it was all overshadowed by the fact that the officiating was bad for them. And that's what exactly happened. So they did not. The players themselves did not put all the fault on Chukwueze. They put the fault on the referee and the officiating in the semi-final game against the host nation Morocco. And the officiating because of the fact that every 50-50 call was against Nigeria. So it felt like the officiating was indirectly against them. The players could feel that they were playing not just against the opponent, but against the opposition, and it affected the flow. When referees start to blow like that, it affects your flow. Chukwueze coming in, just take penalties. At the end of the day, maybe backfired because not properly warmed up, and his attitude as well, his countenance did not help, the matter. But after the game, just like every other player, he was just not happy about the result, and he just walked past.
Okay, so last questions to you guys will be a yes or no answer.
Yeah.
Retain Eric Shell, yes or no, Dele?
Retain him, yes.
Okay. Demola?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
All right. Thank you guys for being on the Playzone podcast. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Dele.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Demola. Thank you. All right, so that's been the Playzone podcast. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next edition. Hopefully, my co-anchor will be seated right here next to me. My name is Charles Anazodo. Goodbye.
Welcome to the Playzone Podcast.